So, amazing two talks. I hope I do justice to the topic as well, Maya. Today, I'm going to talk about pioneering the future. What does this really mean? I'm going to pull through some of my experiences, my journey, and then talk about how you can work towards having a skill set that gives you that capability to be ready to deal with anything that future throws your way. So, I've been talking and I've said this many times before that careers are no longer linear, right? It's no longer a linear path that you know, it's no longer predictable. I studied at engineering, and then because of my last degree project, I got into digital marketing at about 20 years back. At that time, digital marketing probably wasn't even a known thing to a lot of people. Now I've been in digital marketing for 20 years. I moved to UK about 15 years back, and since then I found myself doing blogging, being an influencer in fashion and lifestyle domain. I still kept working with my full-time job. I thought I'll do an MBA, went on to do that, and then eventually last year I was also a LinkedIn top voice, and for last 2 years I've been talking about AI in marketing. So there's a growth curve, there's a lean curve out there that happens when you're going through your career path. And most of us today, because of the changes in technology, in the environment, will also face the same. And with that, we know AI is the future. There are a lot of predictions out there. I'm not going to read these for you, but if you look at AI, India is touted to be one of the places where a lot of organizations will come for AI talent. But at the same time, the growth that we are seeing in AI development is happening in US. It's going to be multifold. I believe, and it's my personal opinion, and a lot of industry specialists say that these are probably lukewarm numbers when you are looking at AI development. And when you look at AI application overall, there are too many use cases out there. It's not just about software development. AI can be implemented in pretty much all the fields that we say. Some industries will see AI development faster than the others because of legislation, because of the data privacy issues. AI is being implemented. We'll see a lot of fast-track growth in robotics, which was probably slowed at the early 2000s. At the same time, you have maybe health industry, which will be slower to adopt AI because of data bias, privacy issues. We also have our corporates who are using, I think one of the common use case of AI that we see today is maybe in marketing, in content creation, and in video generation. We've seen AI reduce the time we are spending to create content, to deliver a lot of messages out there. Well, beyond that, a lot of organizations are looking at AI to increase productivity. How can they implement and supplement human time, give time back, remove time from mundane tasks, right? Nobody after doing so much education, being aware, wants to be doing repetitive tasks every day. So that is where AI is coming today. AI is being used for specialized tasks, not necessarily for generalistic tasks, but more specialized. Yes, there will be other pieces. Language translation will also look at AI, where you can just feed in computer and have it translated in 15 languages. In fact, you can even talk to an AI in whatever language you want. So there's many more use cases that are coming along, and most of the time it's not about what exists. It's more about understanding what is the norm and how can I break it. So if I'm doing one task every day, which is taking me more than 1 hour, that task can be automated. So there are some examples out there, and I've tried to bring out examples of AI which are from early 2023-24 to something that actually happened just this month. So we saw Heinz being one of the front runners where they did this campaign. They gave this app out to their customers and said, design your own Heinz bottle. And we saw a lot of different variations come out. We've seen a lot of CGI-led campaigns. There's one with Malibu Summer Shades campaign. We've probably seen a lot of fashion, beauty brands lead the way in this, where one of the examples that I clearly remember is Jacquemus bag running across on Paris streets like a bus. And because it was the first time when I saw this, I actually thought it's a bus they have transformed into a bag. Later on, I found out that it was a CGI generated art. We've had these two ads that have come out. Coke does an iconic Christmas ad every year. This is the first year they've led this ad completely AI generated. It's not perfect, 100%, but it is way forward to how things will be done in future. That's an Adidas floral spec ad. I think this one came out literally last week. And again, they just did the whole ad with AI. There was no shoot cost, there was no studio, there was no travel cost. And that is the kind of scale AI is now being used at. Imagine removing all that cost, imagine having that pace to do it. I'm not saying that with AI you can generate this in 5 minutes, but it's way faster and probably cheaper. Now, I know we say, oh, AI has only been here for 2 years. Well, actually not. Like, I started using one type of AI. There are 5 types of AI. A lot of experts are talking about it. I started using automation AI back in 2010. So it's been there for a while now. We've had data analytics, which is also a form of AI. We've had prescriptive, predictive, and the one that is actually making waves today is Gen AI. Gen AI is where you are able to generate net new content based on the data that is existing and the prompt that you're giving. And because no prompt is the same, the output is always also not the same. So this is where the revolution is actually happening. Also remember, the AI is also learning your behavior, your pattern of what you prefer as an outcome. So even if the prompt is the same, you might not see the output to be the same as well. That's where the memory comes. Now, how will AI actually evolve? We are at the cusp. So I did this slide after reading a lot of books. Early in 2024, we are at the cusp of the end of 2024 already. Today, I think everybody is using AI in some shape or form. Some people are using it, but not talking about it. And our corporates obviously want to scale it. So AI is already an assistant at scale. What we are going to see in next 2 years is AI being a co-worker. We are already at a cusp where organizations are looking to implement AI, to have AI do the tasks, and move to being a supporter, productivity assistant for everybody in the organization. And then AI will become an orchestra. What does this really mean? It means one AI might integrate with 4 different AIs, and with one command, it can produce 5 different things for you. So you don't have to jump between 5 different apps to execute and deliver products. So a lot more time saving will happen. And this is where I'm just predicting things might happen way faster than 2030 actually, because the pace of change is very fast. So what are the skills? How can we be ready to tackle this change? And these are some skills that I've seen, I have grown. You have to create a grit and a muscle of these skills to be able to be successful in today's world. Some of them are technical skills, soft skills, transferable, and obviously ethical understanding. Now I can't talk to you about what are those ethical skills because they can only be said. It has to come from within as well. But we'll focus on the other 3 today. Before I move any further, I have just one question for the audience. How many here think they need to know coding to be productive with AI? Give a raise of hands, please. Okay. Well, answer is clearly no. I know some of you said yes. Answer is clearly no. I know I'm an engineer, so you might think, well, I'm talking about AI because I've done engineering. But let me tell you, it's been 20 years since I passed out, and I have not written a single line of code for a long, long time. So no, you don't need to be AI. Yes, if you want to be a developer, developing an AI tool, 100% you need to understand machine learning, you need to have some basic coding skills as well. But even today, AI is writing codes. You can feed and get a lot of Python code out of AI, so a lot of those skills will also go redundant. What you really need is an understanding of data, having the ability of different places where AI will actually make a bigger impact. Whether that is AR, VR, whether that is cryptocurrency, because that's another kind of pace that is changing, blockchain. I think a lot of people still are hesitant about blockchain and crypto, but it is there to stay. It has increased a lot as well. Cybersecurity, we will see a lot more implementation and applications of AI coming along in cybersecurity as well. And along with that, cloud computing, because if all these apps are going to crunch so much data, how is it going to happen if nobody is actually at the back fixing those cloud computing, compute power within the computer itself? So a lot more compute power, a lot more server strength, and cloud computing will be needed as well. And we can't just forget data. Data is the backbone of AI. Every 3 months, AI gets outdated. Somebody at the back is still fixing that, removing bias within the data, making sure data is actually going in the right form within AI as well. But there are more to AI than those skills as well. So there are some transferable skills. Now, when I was doing engineering, I've been doing my job, and as you go, you create some skill set within you that is really relevant and you can take and change, right? When we are studying MBA, one of the things that we are taught, a lot of people actually change their field from maybe finance to marketing, or they come from an engineering background and go to finance. How does that happen? That happens because we talk about our transferable skills at that point. So these are the most important skills. The attitude towards continuous learning. Like, no matter what, I'm one person, like I believe in learning every day, every year. And that is how I have grown and seen so many changes in this world. When you're changing a country, you have to be open, you have to be adaptable, you have to be resilient. When you're changing a field, you need to know how to keep on learning, how to be curious, but also problem solving and creative thinking. These are all the skills that you can have, right? Because AI will do the specialist job already. So the skill that you need to have is the understanding of what is right and wrong. What problem am I going to solve? And what answer am I going to give? Soft skills, another one, really important, because if AI is doing the specialist job, then the most important job that we have is the collaboration, working with people, integrating, sharing those thoughts. And that is what we all want to do, right? We don't want to do boring things. We want to be out there talking, collaborating, and also communicating. So developing these skills is really important. So what can you do actually? If you are today thinking about and at the cusp of change, think about you staying updated with what is happening in AI, think about developing those critical thinking muscle, but at the same time, try to do some group projects because that's really important for collaboration. And don't fear your, don't fear your AI, the change that is happening as well. Now, these are some examples. I can't finish this talk without talking about all the failures that are happening, all the deep fakes that are coming in. We have to be mindful of these. There are deep fakes here of Tom Cruise, of Hope. DPT was a firm, their chatbot went crazy, talking about bad rep on the brand itself. So you have to have human plus AI when you're talking and you're implementing AI. And the last but the most important is being authentic. There was a brand which actually created a generative image of their experience for Willy Wonka, which is very, very popular. Kids wanted to see this, parents took them. And what we see here is actually the real experience was nowhere near to what they were selling. And that is the most important thing. Like, we have to be authentic. We can't generate and sell things that don't exist. So while we are using and implementing AI, we need to also be aware of the considerations. In corporate environment, obviously, as you go and find placements or run your own business, think about compliance, security, but also ethical considerations, right? AI should be used for good. We see sometimes it's being used for bad, and there are also a lot of organizational concern around this. So how do we change that? That's where we as a people need to be really aware of these considerations to make change. So my last takeaway for you is it's efficient, it's effective, get on board, but just be mindful of how you are using AI and be very attentive of brand reputation. And I would just say one more thing, like AI is not going to take your job. AI is there to stay, but somebody who is using AI will actually take your job away. Roles might change in their shape and form, but they are here to stay and you have to evolve with those. So thank you.